Aloha, Cravenites. I'm Lynn McCree. I played Maureen Prescott in Wes Craven's Scream trilogy. And you're watching Craven Something Scary.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, visitors, subscribers, and patrons. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Well, guys, this is a date that I have been looking forward to. We had scheduled it a while back, but as you all know, I've been on a basically a month sabbatical for health reasons. You guys know that who are regulars here. So I had to kind of pause everything, but both of them are so generous to reschedule and join me today. And it's got my cheeks all rosy red. That's how excited I am. So these are amazing guys. I'm telling you, one is a return guest, been on the channel a couple times now, always a blast. Even carried the stream when my router went out. And then we also have a first time guest today. I'm very excited to meet and to share with all of you here in the community. I think you're going to love it. This is Dream Warrior Night, and it's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark Knight. So, not Dark Knight as in Batman, but night as in right now. So, anyway, it's going to be great. So, without further ado, they've been so generous to donate an hour of their time to give us, and this is really awesome. And I appreciate it very much. So, let me bring on, first of all, our good friend to the channel and to me as well. Actually, we actually do chat offline on Instagram and things like that. You guys know him and love him. He has got a wicked sense of humor, and he always makes you smile. He's been in so many films. Of course, the Nightmare film, Elvira, Predator 2, People Under the Stairs. I mean, I could literally, if I pulled up his IMDb, it would take an hour to read it all the credits. So I'll stop there. You guys know who I'm talking about. Please welcome back to the show the one and only, the kind and funny Mr. Bill Perry. Hey, Bill.
Hey there, and I can hear the arm farts echoing through the internet as opposed to applause.
Oh gosh, hey, that works. Hey, whatever works, man.
And it's all love.
It's all love. Yes, it is. Oh gosh. Now, my next guest is his first time to appear on the channel. Hopefully not the last. Hopefully this is the first of many to come. But we'll see. But I am excited to introduce him to you. He played Will in Nightmare 3, and I just love the character. And he also played Bo in Elvira, one of the teens there, trying to get a sneak peek in the window. I never forget that scene. And the cool thing is, William, or Bill Perry, is also his stunt double in both movies. So this is going to be really cool. Lots of stories to be told. But please welcome, without any further ado, my first time guest, and I'm honored for him to be here with us tonight, Mr. Ira Heiden. Ira, welcome. So
Hello
good
there.
to see you.
Hello
Thank
there.
you. Hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's a treat, it's an honor, and a real pleasure. I really mean that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here. Be here.
Hey,
You're wearing your glasses. Remember,
he switched them
if
up.
you wear them, I get to
no.
wear them. Okay, there we go.
Oh, now I can see you. There we go.
Well, also, before we get into the nitty gritty, as they say, I want to say, oh, look at Freddie, man! I'm telling you, ooh, the iconic Freddie. We're gonna talk a lot about that. Before we do, though, I want to give a shout out to the chat, everyone that's here. Obviously, because of our time constraints, we don't have the time to go through name by name. But I promise you this: I'm scrolling literally right now, looking at everyone here, and it's such a pleasure, guys, to see you all show up and support the stream tonight. I want to thank my moderators, Denisha, Jen, Sarah Campbell. Thank you guys for moderating the chat, sharing the links for Ira and Bill, both their Instagram and websites so that everyone can follow those. We want to make sure you're following both of them. So, guys, I ask you to go and click the links and follow. Let's get it up, get those follows up, and look at that shirt. Which Ira, are those for sale, man? Are you do you
They
like
are for
those
sale, but not by me. They're for sale by Freight Rags.
Fright Rags? Ooh, okay. So is it frightrags.com? I'm guessing something like that.
Yeah, you
Probably. I don't
can
know.
just Google
Google
it.
it.
You'll find it.
A
Hey,
fine shirt.
do me a favor, Sarah, one of my mods, or Denisha or Jen, would you Google that Fright Rags and get that website address, and let's put that in the chat so that way I can get that shirt. Ira, would you show us one more time, just one more model for us? Look at this of Will.
Look at him strut.
Dude, that's a beautiful shirt.
That
Honestly,
is awesome. You got your own merch.
I
that's
mean, how
You're
how
my
cool
hero.
is that?
You're my hero. That's all I
I
can
mean,
say.
well, thank you for doubling me. Thank you for doubling your hero. Whoa, that was a bit scary.
Did you see that?
You gotta
yes,
watch it
indeed.
with that thing. Don't cut yourself.
No, I never
I
use it on
love
the
it.
way to the restroom. I'm just
Don't
going to tell
ever
you
fall asleep
Yeah,
either.
from experience.
that might not work too well at the restroom,
Ooh, that
Bill.
could be. That could be.
PG-13. I'm sorry, PG-13.
Yes, yes.
They'll be
Promise.
bringing
I made a
they'll be
promise.
bringing they'll be bringing you in to the room next to me before they just do that. Don't do it. So again, guys, here are the websites. Be sure you click, bookmark their sites, stay informed of what's going on with these two amazing gentlemen. The convention appearances, everything. We're going to talk about conventions at the end. I know you guys got some coming up. We want to promote those. Also, and Laser Splatter, welcome, says you guys are awesome. What
Thanks,
a
Lays.
dream come true. Isn't that great? Love it.
Would that be like Lays for short? Probably not.
That's sort
Don't
of a chip off the
know.
old block.
Lay splatter.
Les Plotter,
Right?
yes. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oliver's here.
It's very continental of you to say so.
You guys,
This
real
guy's
quick.
like, thanks.
I love this is great. No, I love this is what I was hoping for. I was anticipating it's gonna be like this. I love it. Oliver, real quick. There are not super chats available right now on YouTube. However, you can send one through Venmo at the Movie Bros React. That's my second channel. So all you have to do is go to your Venmo, put at the Movie Bros to React and send it. And you can send a super chat there if you'd like to. Thank you for asking. And you also can become a patron every month and support the channel. I know someone on the panel that's a patron, Mr. Perry.
Damn straight.
That's right. So you guys can join there, support the channel. I really appreciate it. As I say, Bill and Ira, I'm clawing my way back
Yes.
from this
Clawing.
sabbatical,
Very good.
clawing back.
And I'm clawing my way into one. That's kind of I'm on the
No.
reverse track. I'm, I'm
I
getting
gotta say
healthier
that
by the moment.
Oliver, with Oliver, that name is great. I don't know if you guys ever saw House Bunny, but Anna Faris met an Oliver and she never remembered anyone's name. So how she would remember their names would be like Oliver or William or Craven.
Hey.
So the first time I see the name Oliver, the first way I think of it is Oliver.
Oliver, that's hilarious.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, let's dive in a little bit now to some. Just I had some questions I want to ask, and we'll just, like I said backstage, I don't like to be scripted. That's not. I like to just ask some questions that are on my mind. Chat can submit questions, but really, you guys control the conversation. You guys have total freedom here on my channel to just go and share with whatever you'd like to say. So don't feel restricted to questions that I'm asking only or the chat. Okay, you have freedom. So, but I do want to start though, and Ira, I'm going to start with you on this one. So, since this is your first time here on my channel and community, I'd love to know how everything really kind of started for you in terms of like knowing that you wanted to be an actor first of all, and then how was your journey from the desire to actually being on a set of an iconic horror franchise like A Nightmare on Elm Street? How was that journey? How did you get there? I'm really excited to hear it.
Well, I'm going to let my double take over and answer that for me. Oh,
no, you got to tell this story. I don't remember
It's
anything.
okay. I'll take it from here, Bill. So I always whenever it was like a holiday season, I would go to my grandma and aunt's house in Brooklyn, New York, and we would get together for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. And I would always sing different songs, and they would pay me $1.
Oh, whoa.
And so I was like, wait a second, I can perform and get paid? This is fun. So I used to
Yeah.
sing lots of songs and stuff like that. And then I kind of got into plays in middle school, and then in high school did some improv work, and then coming out to Los Angeles from Tampa, Florida. uh, I met a manager named Marilyn Sherman. Now,
Okay.
Marilyn founded Jimmy Smits, Bill Allen from Rad, Forrest Whitaker, um,
Mm.
lots of fun, good people. And so
Wow.
I ended up working with her, and ended up landing my first role, which was a nerd in a Pepsi commercial.
Awesome. All
And
right.
it was with China Phillips, Johnny Depp, Sherilyn Finn, Brooke McCarter, the late great my best friend Harold Pruitt. Um, it was tons of fun. Kelly Minter, you may know her from A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Um,
Yes.
so, or she was in 5, I think. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so that kind of got me into the Screen Actors Guild, and then I started auditioning and getting jobs, and then gosh, like within less than a year I got the call from Maryland to audition, actually to meet Annette Benson first, to see if I was correctly right for the role. And she said, absolutely. And so she pre-read me, and then she taped me. And then I went and I had like 5 or 6 callbacks, and then met Chuck and everything. And
Wow.
then it ended up working out.
Wow.
I
Five
have
or
to ask you,
six.
Ira.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What,
No, no, go
Bill?
ahead.
I said, did it? I mean, you started out doing the nerd role thing. Did you ever feel like you wanted to break out of the nerd role thing?
Well, of course, I didn't want to be always the guy with the glasses, like,
Yeah.
um, I, I wanted to be like, I wanted to be like Rob Lowe. I wanted to be,
We
like
still
James
do.
Dean. I wanted, yeah, right.
Right?
Hey, and I got to play Rob's brother in a movie called Illegally Yours, which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole nother project that Peter Bogdanovich directed, which was pretty awesome.
Big man.
So yeah, I did want to break out. What about you, Bill?
I just I was too little, and everybody said you've got the right look, but you're just too damn short. And that was hard to hear, because
Wow.
you're always trying to find your way, you're going to try to find
Yeah.
your niche. And they said, no, in fact, if you're going to be as short as you are, which I didn't have a lot of choice, they said, you got to ugly up some. Because if you were going to do a movie with Rob Lowe, you don't want to be too good looking standing next to him,
Ah.
because you're the goofy friend.
Right.
And so they told me,
Yep.
ugly up some. And so I got into stunts, and you can see what it's done to me.
Dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
laser.
Oh, Bill.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, I read the James Dean of nerds,
I'll
though.
take the James Dean of nerds. Sure, that works.
You're
Absolutely.
tearing me apart.
Ah! Okay. Fair enough. That's awesome, Ira. That is really amazing. And your career just continued to go from there, obviously. Now, Bill,
Yeah.
same for you. I know we've talked about it a little while back in your first appearance, but let's remind the audience and all the new folks that weren't here for that initial interview. When did the
Yeah, like
passion come
me.
for you? That's
Yeah,
right.
it was, it's same sort of thing. I grew up wanting to be an actor. I've probably since I was about 7 years old. Did a play with that my brother was in, much older brother, and they said, "Yeah, we need some kids for this play," and I was hooked. It was just fun,
Yeah.
and just the whole fantasy element of it. Go, be in a different place, act like a different person for a while, and then I was working my way up, and the stunt thing happened when stunt coordinator that I was friends with, who was actually Wes Craven's stunt coordinator for like 18 films, said, "Hey, I got this
Goodness.
kid. He looks just like you. 5'6", brown hair, brown eyes, baby face. You're just sitting in a car." And I thought, well, that's the way to get my union card. And it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. So I got my card, and then I was auditioning for a while, and things were not. I was getting great auditions. I mean,
Hmm.
I had auditions with Tom Cruise on this side of me and Sean Penn on that side. I mean, it was as good as it was going
Wow.
to get as auditions, but I was completely intimidated by it. And again, the short thing, they said all the girls are 5'8", 5'10". You're too short to be, the young
Man.
leading man thing. And then the stunt coordinator guy called me back and said, "Look, there's a lot of work for a 5'6" guy with arms like a girl." And so he said, if you've got any athletic ability at all, this would be a pretty easy slam dunk for you. And so people just
Mm.
started calling. And it was nice because I didn't have to do the
Wow.
audition thing anymore. And I didn't have to
Yeah.
stress over auditions and, when's this
Yes.
going to happen? And I got a series my first year
Yeah.
on Star Trek,
Wow.
and things just kind of took off. And I still wanted to act, but it was pretty, it was so much easier just to walk in and just have somebody call you and say, "I'll see you Wednesday." And you don't even know
No
what you're going to go
doubt.
do. Yeah, you just walk
That's
up.
wow.
You know.
That's exciting. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah.
like
It still,
Christmas.
it still bothers me. I mean, I still got a couple of chances to do some acting in film, but it was always one of those things that's like, yeah, but you're not doing your best skill, you know. But hey, 12 years
Well,
later, I was still doing it, so I was very,
yeah.
very fortunate.
I think
Exactly.
you got the last laugh on that deal, 100%. That's for sure. And it's funny because movies today, like you look at even in that sense, let's say, in the 2000s, you see like these killers, like in Scream 4. Emma Roberts, she's 5'2". I mean, and Rory Culkin can't be much taller. And then you've got like Mikey Madison in Scream 5. She's 5'2". It's like, you would be towering over people now.
That's
See?
it. I'm like LeBron now.
How
You would
tall is
be.
Drew Barrymore?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good
she's
question.
pretty small
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
she.
She
Yeah, I
is.
mean, and even Tom Cruise is really only about a half an inch to three-quarters of an inch taller than me, but he's
Okay,
freaking
Uh-huh.
Tom Cruise.
Well, right.
Got that going for him.
he
Yeah,
does.
he does. It's just a little thing, but it works for him.
Yeah,
Terrific.
he's doing all right. Yeah, he's
He's doing
managed to
okay.
scrap by.
Now let's focus now. Now that we've kind of talked about the beginnings, I'd like to ask you just a few questions about more specifically about Nightmare first. So when it comes, Ira, just to and I think you kind of touched on this already, but you had your 5 to 6 callbacks, right? Your auditions, and then you got the part. How did it feel? Like, just what was your feeling to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie"? Like this. This is not like a short, any little independent short, which is nothing wrong with those. They're great. I love them. But this is Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you got the yes?
Well, when I watched the first one in high school, I was scared to death.
Wow.
Had to close my eyes. I was not very happy because he scared the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, it was quite the process of the auditions of where I tried to park at the same meter and walk the same steps and do the same thing so that I can get the same result. Um, but when I found out, whoa, you almost
Where
lost
did he
me.
go?
No
You
worries.
almost lost me.
Oh,
Oh no,
oh
that's
no!
okay. He'll come back. It's
He'll
okay.
be back. Well,
Those phones are so touchy with those touch screens. I mean, man, I do that kind of stuff all the time. I'm like, oh,
let me complete that story for him. He always dreamt that one day he'd have a stunt
All
double,
right, so
and that stunt. Oh, there he's back.
I'm back. See, I'm
Bill.
quick. I am the wizard master. So
He
things
is. He's
Well,
like
happen. I go away and I
magical.
pop right back in.
your
So
skills are sharp. They're still sharp.
I knew the role because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons all the time. So that was like my main thing. And then I finally got the role, and I cannot tell you how excited I was.
Oh.
I mean, uh, to find out that I was going to be third to last to die in a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was amazing, and
Wow.
it was quite the process of us all getting together and reading in Westwood before we started shooting. So they also gave me the wheelchair so I could practice with that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an incredible experience, and we were all so
Wow.
serious, and we were all so together as the Dream Warriors and working
Mm-hmm.
together, and It was a pretty amazing project since that was my very first movie that I got.
Really?
What a way to start! My goodness,
Damn.
Yeah.
wowzers!
Very
Now,
impressive.
Bill, focusing on you for a second now, the stunt double, again, I know we kind of touched on the beginning and stuff, but kind of, can you walk me through again just to tie it up in a bow? How'd you get that offer for
Well,
Nightmare 3?
it's interesting because when you do these things, when you go out to, well, at least back in the day, you'd find a stunt coordinator on a set someplace, and you'd give them a picture and resume, say, hey, if you have anything coming up, please let me know. I'd love to work for you. And that's basically what we just called hustling. You do it every
Uh-huh.
day, 7 days a week, 24/7. You just go out and hustle as best
Mm,
you could. And there's a guy, gentleman's name was, I believe it was Rick Barker, did 3, and a
mhm,
really nice guy. And he just called me because he heard of me from somebody else. So sometimes when you were out there hustling, it wasn't necessarily that you were going to get a job from the person you were talking to, but they might say, hey, I just saw this kid, or this
uh-huh.
guy that's about the height and weight of the guy you're looking for.
Yeah.
You should give him a call. And then he'd give me a call and just say, hey, we're going to chase you down with a wheelchair. You're like, okay, and then you just show up, get your big bag of pads and gear, and you just show up and you just kind of do whatever they ask you to do that day. It didn't have a lot of details on it, but I remember thinking at the time, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like, a horror film? Oh man, nobody's going to remember a horror film 10 minutes from now. It just seemed like at the time everybody was doing horror films, and so they didn't seem like they were going to have any longevity to them.
Mhm,
And so
mhm.
I kind of looked at them like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. It's horror films are horror films. It's fine. There's plenty of death and destruction, keep a stunt guy busy. But I didn't imagine, 30
Mhm.
years later that
Here you
anybody
are.
would even remember
Would
it,
right?
much
I mean,
less,
honestly, the main thing also about you saying about a horror movie is like I didn't feel like I was going to be a horror icon. Like I didn't want that. Like I wanted
Mhm,
comedy. I wanted to be like a James Dean. I wanted to be serious also, like all this stuff. And I remember booking the job for Illegally Yours, where I got to play Rob Lowe's brother and Peter Bogdanovich directing while shooting Nightmare. And I'm like,
mm,
okay, this is my big shot. It's going to
mhm.
be this is a real movie. These are
Right.
real stars.
Yes.
Meanwhile, how many of you out there in YouTube land know about Illegally Yours?
I barely remember. I do
I think
remember it, but
I think
barely.
both of those people are just screaming at their phones right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Both
that
of
would
those
be my
people.
wife and my son. But no, but truthfully, my gosh, what Nightmare has done and become, and it's amazing. We get to go to all these conventions now, and
Mhm.
and the fans are so supportive, and you get to hang out with all your cast members that you worked with 30 something years ago, and then you get to meet other ones, other horror fans. Like, we just did one a while ago and we saw the people from Children of the Corn, Courtney Gaines.
Nice.
My God, I used to see him all the time for auditions. Um,
Mhm, mhm.
so anyway,
That's fantastic. Isn't it? It's interesting how sometimes we think we've got it figured out, and at the end of the day, completely opposite of what we thought. And I, and because you actually answered one of the questions I was going to ask you about was, did you ever, when reading this script, did you ever get a feeling that this is going to be an iconic sequel? In fact, if you were to poll, I should put a poll up, but if you were to poll the Nightmare fans, the real Nightmare fans, the consistency I hear amongst fans is that Nightmare 3 is their favorite sequel in the
Always.
franchise. And by the way, it's mine too. It rivals Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That's how high I love the Dream Warriors. And it's consistently that way. When I talk to people about Dream Warriors, like, oh, that's so good. I love that movie. It's like my favorite sequel. And you guys are a part of that. And here we are today. Like you said, still people want to meet you because it means something to them. It's important, whether they were kids or adults when they saw it. It
yeah, and
resonated in a way that they want to be able to meet you and talk to you. And that's really special, isn't it? That's amazing.
for
And they
sure,
show it to their kids,
yeah,
y- you know.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a
Sure.
lot of people out there where this movie like helped them with mental health, like they were
Hmm.
struggling through these things and different things, and it helped them actually figure out how to move forward and how to,
Yes,
how to band together with friends,
that's
talk to
right.
friends and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. It's wonderful. It's a great movie. I love it. I could watch it every day and never get tired of it. I mean, seriously, yeah, it's fun, scary, and just seeing the warriors. There's something about a band. It's like, whether you're watching Red Dawn when they all come to
Yeah.
Wolverines, whatever it is, it's something about seeing a few, five, six people, whatever, all get together and fight for freedom, justice, whatever it is. And you guys were awesome, and all of you were so unique in what you did. And I'm curious though, because this was an older movie. Obviously, we're talking mid '80s. What was the shooting schedule like, Ira, for you, and then Bill for you? Like, how do you remember how many days you were there? Like long periods of time, or
I think I shot for about close to, I think, 5 weeks. It was a
wow?
low budget movie.
Okay,
We got scale pay. Um,
okay,
I do remember the hours being long,
yeah,
starting early and staying up late. There were times that we shot at you remember this, Bill. We shot downtown across from the county jail in Los Angeles. We had a warehouse, and
wow,
it was pretty trippy. But I remember working one day from like 6 a.m. until um, 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. And then
wow,
the producers said, Ira, we have to have you come back the next day at 9 o'clock a.m. So we're going to do what we have to do is called a force call. And Robert
okay.
was next to me and he's like, oh, dude. I'm like, what's a force call? Because I had no idea. It's when they have to pay you because they're not giving you a 12-hour turnaround. And at
Oh,
the time, I don't even know what it is now, but it was $1,000.
wow.
Yeah.
Man, and I mean, we're talking back in a time where that's a chunk of change back then.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
huge.
and considering I think I got paid $1,500 for the week. So I was like, I will take that.
Dang, heck yeah.
I
That's
don't need
great.
sleep. I'm coming
Yep.
in. I'll
Yeah.
That's
stay.
right. Freddie will tell us sleep kills.
Sleep kills. Now, and this question, I want to ask for both of you. Whoever wants to go first, you guys can just go. But I would like to. How would you describe the culture? I know you said it's 5 weeks. What was the feeling, culture on set as you're there all those hours? As far as the director, how he kind of fostered a certain type of environment. I'm just curious, like, how would describe the feeling on set and the culture there that you worked
You go,
in?
Bill.
I was only there for about a week, um,
Okay.
but I had heard that there was a lot of tension on set. Um,
Ah.
I know there was a lot of prep. This was the most special effects intensive one, a lot of practical effects
Mhm.
and stuff like that. No matter how much you prep, things break, things don't work the way they
Sure.
expected them to work. And so I was told that it was kind of a, edgy kind of set. But
Gotcha.
when I was there, there was some very funny stuff with the big Freddy Snake, running around.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of the stuff, it's almost funnier when things don't work than when they
Yeah.
do. But I had a great time just because I was the happiest little puppy dog in the whole universe working on that show, just because
Yeah.
there I was getting to do the thing that I dreamt of doing for so long. And Ira was very cool too. I remember when we would do even just little shots from the thing, I'd ask him, how did you land? How do you want to be able to
Mhm.
get up? What's your position? Um, Body language, anything I could, try to grab from him. And a lot of stuntmen might not have been that as focused on that as I was, but I thought of myself as an actor. And so I wanted to learn everything I could learn from Ira to make sure that it's my job to make him look as good as I can make him look. If he's supposed to look tough,
Right?
he just got beefed by a wheelchair and he gets up and kicks ass. I gotta make that happen, to make sure that he looks like he
Mhm.
didn't suffer too bad and that
Right.
he's, raring to go and fight. But I remember it being very funny because it's kind of like being a bunch of little kids. Somebody makes a fart joke and then you're in the background, making farts. Just because it's a creative environment. But I do remember there being some tension where the director was kind of frustrated with some people or with some of the crew members, and but again, nothing was going to ruin my day. But Ira being on there so
Nope.
much longer probably has much more to say about that without naming names.
Sure. Ira, did you get the feeling that Bill got, or and feel free to say what, expand, or say no comment, and we'll move on. It's okay.
um, all I remember is it was my very first movie.
Yep.
Um, and I took it as serious as I
Mhm.
could.
Yep.
I made sure I knew my lines. I made sure that I hit my marks. I made sure that I listened to the director. I
Mhm.
made sure that I told the producers that they need to hire Doc and not Marillion for the soundtrack. I got along so well with the cast members. We all hung out after we would go and grab dinner. There was one night that it was Rodney, myself, and Jennifer Rubin. We all went. For Chinese food, and Jennifer didn't have time to get out of her makeup, and she had her hair still in mohawk. So we actually went to the Chinese restaurant like that, and they were freaked out. They had no idea who she was or what was
That's
going on.
awesome.
So we got a laugh out of
Uh,
that. Bradley, Greg, and I knew each other before the movie, so we got to be pals again on the set. And it was really, it was a wonderful experience. Just much like Bill said, though, it was intense. There were
yeah.
definite moments that it was like, wow, okay, because for example, there was one scene where it's Ken and all of us were in the insane asylum room with all the padded stuff, and the Freddy's ripping through it, and there's feathers everywhere, and everyone's like, ah. Well, they used real duck feathers and a fan on all of us, so we were literally getting lead feathers
Oh.
stuck in our mouths.
Oh. Oh,
So
gross.
so it was tough, man. It was definitely tough. And
Dang.
this was Chuck's first movie, and I know that he wanted to get it right.
Wow. Yeah.
I had the best relationship with that man, though, I gotta tell you. As intense as he was, it was great. So yeah, the time was an amazing with
Wow.
them.
And you talk
Wow.
about it being a low budget. It was actually three was the biggest budget of any of the films by almost three times, or almost, sorry,
Wow.
almost five times. Yeah, I think they said it
Wow.
was a $13 million budget, and all the others had
Wow.
been done for two or three. And
That's
then four,
big.
five, and six were done on real low budgets again because they said we got the same result that we had with the lower budget, as far as how
The
well the
box
film
office.
did. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they said, why spend so much next time? So it
Man.
was kind of a place where a lot of directors kind of cut their teeth. I know I worked on 4 and 6, and it was almost always a first time director who was trying to prove something,
Was that
whatever that
Rennie
was.
Harlan? Was that Rennie
Yeah,
Harlan's first one?
yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, so because they were on low budgets, you have to be creative. You cannot take extra time. You can't make
Mhm.
mistakes. You got to work, and you got to work
Yep.
fast. And everybody on the crew's got to be on that too. And some of these folks are just old hand, stage people, and they don't want to hurry. They're going to do things in the time that it takes. And
Right?
so sometimes that's what it is. It's just people are under a lot of pressure to do their best work in a short period of time with a lot riding on it.
Yeah.
So.
Whew, no doubt. I mean, we're talking millions, and then you say the budget. That's that's pretty high pressure. We're talking like, it's
Yeah.
not a couple $100 to make a movie. This is
I
like,
think I heard at the time when we did Christine, somebody told us it's $100,000 an hour to make a movie.
oh
That means
gosh,
everybody that's there, everything that you're paying for, all the
man,
rentals, everything, at
right?
100,000 an hour. So if they're waiting because somebody's uh, you know walked
Yeah.
away from set for a minute and is out
Hmm.
five in a smoke when they didn't tell anybody where they were, that's costing $100,000 an hour to get that to
Dang.
happen. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
that's where the pressure comes from. It's like, yeah, your time is literally money,
Yeah.
and
But I
Yeah.
And
think
we,
that's also the best way sometimes, because that's where you get so creative, and that's where you really
Hmm.
you're forced to really make what you have to in this certain amount of time for this certain amount of money. Well, how
yeah,
are we going to work with
yep,
this? Okay, well, let's pull this out and cut through here as opposed to, so
yeah,
Very good point. I mean, yeah, sometimes we do our best when the pressure is really on
yeah.
and we have to deliver. That's a great point,
Yeah,
Ira.
I think it
Uh,
really pushes your creativity because it's
hmm.
like, well, okay, we can't do that. We need a solution in the next 3 minutes. And if you're with a good crew, like he was talking about, then people just snap together and they find a way to make it work. And oftentimes it's better than what they had planned.
Absolutely. My good friend Gina, Chunky Jordy, said the film is brilliant. I've loved it since it was released, and my dad rented me the VHS. You both did great work.
well, thank
Absolutely.
you,
Thank you.
Chunky, Chunky
100%.
J. Thank you,
Oh, I thought he
Chunky
was talking
J.
about me.
Oh no, no,
And
you're just
we do
fine.
have
Just stay behind me, okay?
Yeah.
oh gosh. And I do have some questions we're going to get to, um, in a little bit as we start to wrap here in 15, 20 minutes, whatever. But I do want to ask this question. How was it like working with your time around two horror legends, Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp? I mean, they're both iconic in their own rights.
Yeah.
So, what was that like? Did you get a chance to have dinner with them on craft services, or what was your interaction off camera? I guess is what I'm really asking.
Go for it, Ira. You got a lot more than I do.
Oh, um, it was awesome. I mean, Heather was kind of like our leader, and
Hmm.
still, even to this day, when we all go to these conventions, she'll take us all out to dinner. Um,
Nice.
and so it was really cool. But it's so funny because I didn't look at her as, oh my God, she was in Nightmare One. Oh my God. Um,
Yeah.
but holy cow, she was in Nightmare One. And I
Exactly.
mean, an incredible actress,
Ooh,
right?
very much.
Um, and with Robert, he scared me so much that when would see him, I didn't really know how to talk to him much or stuff. So, um, I had some interesting moments with him and some great, like the time that he's about to kill me, and
Hmm.
I'm sitting there and he's in full on makeup, and I'm trying to use my best sense of, I'm gonna die, death, for my death scene, and just try to get into that character. And Robert's like, did you hear the one about, and he's telling me these jokes, and I'm like, Robert, that's not helping. Oh, dude, do you know this? That I just bought a house in Laguna, and I take my convertible Mustang out there. It's so great. I'm like, great,
Dang.
Robert, but I'm about to die here and you're about to kill me, so I need to keep it down. Um, but since then, our
Oh,
friendships have just blown up, and Heather
oh,
and I
that's
have worked
awesome.
on many projects together. We raised like almost $20,000 for mental health awareness.
Wonderful.
She's like one of my best friends. She's an incredible person. Robert, I don't get to see as much, but hey,
Hmm.
shout out to the man that's getting a Hollywood star, which is pretty cool.
Very
um,
cool.
Very
and
Great for
cool.
the horror community too.
man,
You
Yeah.
know?
it really is. And I got to tell you, I feel touched because within the first 2 hours of finding that out, his wife texted me and said, Robert's getting a star.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
Oh,
like, oh my
awesome.
God, that's so great. Oh my God,
So
you thought
cool.
of me. You texted me and told me about this great moment. So yeah, it was an incredible experience to work with him, and to hang out with him still is a blessing.
Hmm.
Go ahead,
Pharaoh,
Nate.
yeah.
As I say, it's funny. I didn't remember having very many conversations with Robert until somebody sent me a video that was all this behind the scenes footage from Nightmare 3.
That was nice.
And I'm watching the video, and there I am, and Robert's out of makeup. They were shooting a particular scene where the wheelchair first takes off, and Robert's basically standing in silhouette, and he kind of does this with his fingers
Hmm.
with the glove, and then the wheelchair takes off. And then there's in the video, I watch myself walk up to him and Chuck Russell and go, "Hey, man," and he's having a beer. He's not in makeup. And I thought, that now that I've seen it, all of a sudden it's like this, cloudy area in the back of my head kind of cleared up. And I'm like, that's right. Oh my gosh. And so, it's 30 some
Yeah.
years ago, but it was it was nice to see that, because I remembered thinking, yeah. And he had asked me, are you going to dive out of the way? I mean, if this, and we were just kind of talking about how it was going to happen, and, kind of lay it out. But I thought it's cool to have, somebody help remind me of what a great time I had. Too many concussions later, but I do remember. I mostly remember the actors that I worked with, but I think with Robert, I was always sort of afraid to talk to him, because he was in makeup all that time, and you never wanted to have that get torn or have to be retouched up, and so I felt like, just leave him alone, let him do his thing, and then maybe afterward we'll have a talk. So I imagine the only reason I really probably took that conversation with him was that he wasn't in makeup, and I wasn't, afraid to have him speak and, tear loose a piece of, mask or something.
Right. Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's got to be a little bit of surrealness to it, I'm sure, and all that. That's pretty cool. But you're both a part of that entire thing. I mean, without the two of you, Nightmare 3 is not going to be Nightmare 3. It's just not. So, it's just,
Probably true.
I just love it. And you guys were
I'll take
really
it.
great. Seriously. I have two more questions for Nightmare, and then we're going to move on to Elvira, if that's cool with you guys. Um,
Absolutely.
so with
Elvira.
uh,
Never mind.
that's it.
Different.
So this for both of you. Um, did you have a favorite scene in Nightmare 3 that you were involved in that was like you look back on like that was my favorite? That was my favorite if I had to pick one. I'd like to see if both of you have one or not.
Go, Bill.
Whoever.
Well, obviously my favorite thing is the whole wheelchair sequence.
Yep.
Again, watching the video, I recognized that they had chased me with the wheelchair mounted on the front of an ATV. And when I saw it, I thought, oh my God, that's right. Because people would ask me, well, that scene doesn't look that involved. I mean, why couldn't
Yeah.
Ira do it? And what I would tell people is, well, that wheelchair was being pulled by a motor.
Whew,
And if anything
man.
happened to Ira, if he got a cut on his face, he got a bump on the
Mm.
head, he sprained an ankle, anything, because things go wrong.
Oh
There's
yeah.
the sets are very.
Mhm.
I mean, this was a low budget in many ways, and we were at this. It wasn't even a real studio, as I remembered. It was more like a industrial space that they'd converted to a studio. So things can go wrong. And
Absolutely.
I remember thinking when they were chasing me with the ATV, yeah, this is how somebody gets hurt, because they wanted to be as close as they could be, because they wanted to catch up with me at one point. And I thought, yeah, if anything happens, if I fall, yeah, I'm going to get run over, and that's not going to be
Yeah,
good.
that's right.
So that's why, I
Oh.
was a very capable guy. We have very much the same physique then and now.
Mhm.
He's not incapable of doing this stuff, but if he even gets a cut, they got to wait until that heals before they can use him again, because it
Oh,
won't
man.
match anything else they're doing. So a lot of times it was more just about, yeah, let's just make sure we don't hurt Ira. If Bill gets hurt, he can get up. We'll put a little boo-boo pad on, and he'll be fine. But if Ira gets hurt, then we got to stop, and that $10,000 an
Right.
hour starts really adding up very quickly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay. Ira, how about you, man? Did you have a scene that you were in that you really loved?
So there were two. Obviously the death scene, which
Mhm.
is great.
Yes.
That was definitely it. But I feel like one of my favorite scenes is when I'm sitting playing Dungeons and Dragons with Jennifer Rubin and Rodney Eastman, and then Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence
Yep.
Fishburne
I
comes in.
know,
Do you ever
right?
know this guy? He was in something called Apocalypse Now.
And
Yeah.
one of those
What's that
Matrix
movie?
things. Well,
Yeah,
where's that
yeah.
again?
What
It was
was
from
Yeah, a
that?
little
That
bit part in
Matrix.
that one. Yeah.
yeah,
A little
that
bit.
that too. Um, Blackish too. He's on TV or something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that was such a cool scene because, like I said before, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a ton, and to
Mhm.
be able to, I felt like that was the introduction of Will,
Yeah.
who was into playing D&D and would love to be the Wizard Master. Um, so that would be that scene because of the going through the Dungeons and Dragons, the Lawrence
Mhm.
Fishburne coming in and saying "lights out," and then Jennifer leaving because she goes into her own room, and then me talking to Rodney. It's just him and I. Okay, you get first shift tonight. Whatever you do, wake me up if something goes wrong.
Mm,
That was like the
yes.
good scene.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. What a man, I love it. Just a great movie. It really, something I'll throw out there. I know we're live, no pressure. Don't even answer yes or no. Billy already knows where I'm going. But I would love to have a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 watch party on this channel with both of you on the panel giving real-time commentary. And if that's something that you guys are the least bit interested in, let me know. We can talk backstage, but I would be honored and my community would be going insane if we could pull that off here in the
Let
near
me let
future.
me talk to my agent Bill Perry, and I'll get back to you.
There. All
Agent,
right,
stunt
Bill.
double. I do it
Oh,
all
stunt
for him.
double. Yeah, he does it all, by the way. And Bill, my website also. There's some things I'm going to
Yeah.
talk to you
Yeah.
about.
I saw the scroll, iraheiden.com. It's a fine
But
website.
that's right. That is a
And
fine
there'll
website
be
because.
some, apparently we'll put some shirts up there pretty
All
soon.
right, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
we need that fright rag. So make
So
Love
sure.
that.
yeah, that would be fun. That would be a
I
blast.
love that
Yeah.
shirt.
We'd have to pick a time. Maybe we can grab another Dream Warrior. You never know.
And what I'll do
Oh,
is I'm going to take that
yeah.
shirt and I'm going to Photoshop my face into it. So it's just me for a minute.
Oh, Bill.
Great.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, Ira, that would be amazing if we could get another Dream Warrior or two to join us. It would be amazing. I mean, it'd be amazing with just the both of you. But if we
Right.
got anyone else, it would be even like icing on top of the cake. So,
That's
um,
right.
yeah, and we'll talk. We'll talk. Well, I'm glad you're both
I've got
open.
an idea about that. We'll talk after.
All
Okay,
right.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, just real quick, we'll go through these kind of fast because I want to get to Elvira before we start to lead towards wrapping because I want to be respectful of both of your time and not overextend you. Um, so let's just go real quick, guys, on these. We'll fire these out. John had a question. He said, "Ira, was it the same restaurant that Robert wore his makeup and the waiter dropped his tray coming out of the kitchen?" That was a little earlier.
Oh,
When y'all went to eat.
good question. I don't remember Robert going with us, so I would have to
Okay.
say no to that one.
Okay.
Too bad. It would have been an awesome story. Make one up
I
next
could
time.
I could have lied and nobody would have known.
We would have been hook, line, and sinker, but
Right?
that's right, all the way. Um, let's see. And John had another question, and one more for John, real quick. Didn't Robert have on the real glove when they did your death scene, Ira, and he had to stab a board lined across your chest?
So yes, that is true.
Wow.
The Nightmare 3 glove was retractable, but one
Right.
of the blades wasn't working at the time of my death scene. So they put
Oh,
a 2x4 up here, and Robert always hits his mark.
woo.
And he did.
Dang.
Yes, there it
Okay.
is, right there. Right there,
Wow.
exactly.
There it is. Now, Bill, this one's for you. What was the
Yeah.
most dangerous stunt you had to do on Nightmare 3?
On Nightmare 3, I would say probably when they were actually pulling the wheelchair, because the real wheelchair, which actually still exists, I happened to look it up one day and it's actually someplace
Really?
back east. Yeah. Somebody
Wow.
bought it and they wanted $15,000 for it. But
Man.
it weighed pretty much. I mean, it was a steel frame, all the, knives and stuff were all foam, but it was being pulled, as I remember, by a Volkswagen engine. At least they tried it.
God.
I don't remember if it worked, but I know it was really loud. And the idea is that you're running and there's these wires between my feet you can see them. I've told you this before. You can see them if you look. The wires are pretty clear. They
Mhm.
didn't have CGI back in the day. They didn't do anything about the
No.
wires.
Nope.
But the thing was you had to run without stepping. Like you had to kind of high step on
Oh,
both sides of the wire because they wanted the wire to be between my feet. And if the thing
jeez.
got close enough, there was a sort of wedge of wire. So there's one wire down the center and two on the outside. And so I'm trying to run like I'm running through tires, but trying to look natural about it. And I just remember thinking, oh, I'm going to trip. And those
Mhm.
wires are going to get cut right through my leg because it's steel wire. And I thought,
God.
if I do screw up, the thing that's going to happen is not so much to get hit by the wheelchair, is to be cut by the wires.
Oh, that's
And so
awful.
that was kind of and we didn't have any, no, I was wearing the same PJs that Ira was wearing. Well, another set of them. But it
Right,
was, yeah,
right.
that was one of those things where if I fell, I thought, yeah, those wires are going to get me. Fortunately, it never
Oh.
happened. But that was
Woo.
probably, to me, the scariest part of it was just, yeah, it's just sound. Everybody says, "Well, all you did was run." It's like, yeah, but try running through tires, knowing that if you step on the tire, it's probably gonna, make a pretty good gash in your leg. So
Yeah.
kind of
Wow. That's,
standard stuff, but still scary.
can
Right.
you say adrenaline rush? My gosh, I can only
Always.
imagine.
Yeah,
And real
and
quick.
we.
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say that the scene where they actually picked me up with the thing too with Ira, and I think they realized that it was really, with the glove and everything, and they were going to stab. They decided that Ira was going to be a better actor, even from a distance. So
Oh, Bill.
sorry,
Sorry,
Ira.
dude.
He owns it. He owns it.
You
He
know, I
did.
didn't
He
get
did.
stunt pay that day.
Yeah, it's true. You should have.
And one last one for Nightmare. Our good friend Jen, one of my moderators, has a burning question. As a professional horror movie actors, how do you scream and not lose your voice? She's an actor. She does murder mystery dinner theater and does plenty of screaming. Any tips for not blowing your voice out?
Mm. Go, Ira. I got.
Post
You just fake
production.
it. You're just
Yeah.
faking it.
Post production
Well,
screams.
yeah,
Post
I did.
production frames, exactly. No,
I
I
do
mean,
some. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I do
Have
some
I-
audiobooks, and I just did a whole book
Yes.
that was 12 different or 13 different stories about demons, and they wanted
Wow.
13 different demonic voices. And
Ooh.
so I'm trying to come up with all of these different voices. So maybe like this. And after a while, I'm sounding so much like a Muppet, I couldn't stand it. It was just horrible. I listened to it, said, I just used effects. And a lot of times when you do, they'll have you scream and have you do it in post-production so that you don't do that. Because after you do a really good blood-curdling scream, yeah, you're going to sound like crap for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
But
I
at least that's what
bet.
Ira, how did you do it? Because you had to do your scene a number of times.
Yeah, I had to do it a bunch of times, and I mean, I managed not to go too crazy, but to use my voice and try to match it every single time. Um, they didn't have me do it 50 times, so it was more like I'd probably say like 10 times. Um, so I was able to keep it and not lose that voice.
Did you ever have to go back and do Foley work and redo your voice?
Not on that, but I did
No,
on
I mean,
Father of the Bride.
nothing else on that film.
Nope.
Wow,
No.
impressive.
I know. I wish I had, but oh well.
We'll be done. Oh, sorry
Uh-oh.
about that. Hit the wrong button. My bad. That's awesome, guys. This was absolutely fantastic about Nightmare 3.
Movie magic.
I know movie magic. It's incredible, but as I've said this before, I know Bill, you've heard me say this, but when I look at these movies and get to meet so many amazing people in the stunt community and acting community in horror movies, it's been a real blessing. And one thing I always share and remind everyone is that if you guys didn't lay
Everyone,
I think if we didn't
everything
put
on
it
the
out there,
line.
everything
Well,
on the line. Let's just complete. We're such good friends now. We can complete
then
sentences for
I
him.
don't know how you would be able to do it.
these movies to life, and so without you, these movies would fall flat on their faces. And I want to say thank you both for as an actors and stunt work that you've done, Bill, especially. Thank you for laying it on the line and making it authentic, because it really makes a difference, guys. Seriously.
A little better than AI,
Oh yeah, just a tad. Okay, so guys, we've chat. I want to let you kind of catch everybody up. We're almost out of time. Would you guys be okay with another 5 to 10 minutes just to touch on Elvira? Is that going to work
Sure.
okay? Or okay,
Yeah.
we'll keep 10 minutes max, and we're gonna end it. So I want Ira and Bill to come back. I want to be like, dude, that guy just keeps you there forever. I don't want that. So
Well, and we also have to plug.
and we have to
yeah.
plug the
We
convention.
have an
So we're gonna
event
go.
with Jennifer Rubin. You talk about wanting to be around your.
That's right. That's
Going to
right.
be around some Dream Warriors. We're going to have three Dream Warriors in the same room at the same time.
Oh man,
We'll talk about
that's
that
gonna
shortly.
yeah, we are.
Keeping
We're definitely not going to end the stream without promoting these conventions. That's very, very important. But and again, maybe we can come back another time and let's focus the whole stream on Elvira. We know, like we did mostly on that. We can do that. Or if you guys are
Wednesday
up
night.
for it. Yeah, we can. I'm open to that if you guys are. In other words,
See what we can do.
yeah. So let's do this. How about we save Elvira and let's talk about convention. Let's save Elvira. Or let me put it this way. How about this one thing? Could each of you share? Because Bill, I've been dying to get to your stories of your, bless your heart, your injuries, but I don't know if we have time for that. So how about this? Favorite moment making the movie, Ira? I'll start with you. As in Elvira, did you have a favorite scene, sequence of events, whatever that you look
Uh,
fondly on?
so the whole movie was just super cool to
Yeah.
be in, and the painting scene was absolutely
Yes.
great. The bowling scene is absolutely
Yes.
phenomenal.
Yep.
The you know,
The
everything was
cookout.
great, but the cookout, exactly. But the one thing that just always stuck in my head
Okay.
was going to work at Warner Brothers set at 5 in the morning,
Wow.
early call, and I, pulled into my trailer and I dropped my stuff off, and I want to grab a cup of coffee because it's early.
Yeah.
And I walk by this trailer, and Guns N' Roses is blasting at
Oh,
5 o'clock in the
oh my
morning.
gosh.
Sure enough, it's Elvira's trailer.
Oh
Cassandra
my goodness.
Peterson. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the
Wow.
Jungle. So that I'll
Dang.
never ever forget that.
That's so cool. She's so awesome, man.
Oh my,
That
I
character she portrays is just it's mint. It's gold.
I still
Oh,
text with her all the time, and we text
oh,
jokes back and forth, and it's hysterical.
nice.
Yeah,
Man, that would dude, I'm telling you, if we ever did a watch party here for Elvira, if we could get Cassandra on with us, what a treat having both of you and
yeah.
her. But that's awesome, Ira. And Bill, real quick for you, man. I know you had some bad
Well,
bad
well,
moments.
yeah, I said that's the one film I actually remember getting hurt on.
Mm.
When we were doing the window scene, a guy dropped me twice, and I landed
Oh,
ribs first on the windowsill below.
oh,
And my wife was there actually to watch, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, everything's fine." Oh my God, this is moving. This isn't supposed to move.
this is
And then
oh,
when we were getting Elvira out of jail, we fell through the ceiling. We were cutting a hole, and we cut the hole around ourselves because we're not good at this. And I fell, and my own knees jabbed me in the nose and
oh,
busted my nose. And I just kind of walked out real quick, like, "Yeah, I got some dirt in my eye. I'm gonna go wash my face."
oh,
And nose was not where it belongs. And
oh,
so that's
Bill.
why Ira did not do that, because that sucked. Both of those things
Yeah.
sucked mightily dightily. And that's why they get a stuntman, because yeah, I wouldn't wish that on a friend, and I was a friend. So
Oh, Bill. Gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, the sacrifices you make to make a
yeah,
good movie,
for
make a movie
movie
good.
history.
yeah.
That's right. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up with a couple of conventions here. So let's start with Ira. You've got an appearance here I've got coming up in August.
Oh
Let me take
yeah,
this down.
yeah.
Night of
That's
Nightmares in
called
Hollywood.
Night of Nightmares in North Hollywood. Yes, where we'll be talking about the movie, and we'll be sharing our favorite scene, and we'll be signing memorabilia if people bring it, and we have pictures that we're going to be signing also. There's going to be lots of food, lots of drinks, and lots of good times.
But not so
Awesome.
many people. This one,
Nope.
that particular event, I'm doing this with him as well. There's only
Oh, good.
135 people going to be at this thing.
Oh, my
And we're
gosh.
trying to keep it really fun. And we got not just three Dream Warriors, but we also have, we've got Ken Sagos, who was Kincaid in 3 and 4. And then we
Okay.
got Brooke Thies, who was the gal that got turned into a cockroach.
Yes.
Still
Oh,
messes me up every time I think about it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, so we've actually got a whole sort of gang of Dream Warriors and Dream
Okay.
Master folks going to be at that
Wow.
one. So it's in LA. So I'm sorry, everybody. We're trying to talk about taking this on the road a little bit, take it to some other cities.
Yeah.
But it's going to
What's
be,
some
that's
other
the one we're doing next, at least my next thing. Can't wait. It's going to be a
Awesome.
hoot. Come
So
see it.
Ira and Bill
Yeah.
both will be here, guys. They'll both be here.
Yes.
And
Both
And-
of us will be
Sagos,
there.
Brooke Thies, and Jennifer Rubin also
And
going to be
Jennifer
there.
Rubin. Oh,
In
that's
Philadelphia.
fantastic.
Exactly.
So that's going to be a total
Night
blast.
of Total blast. Nightofnightmares.com. If anyone's looking for an amazing vacation in August, I think they just found it. Yeah, North Hollywood. Let's fly, drive, whatever, and be there in such an intimate crowd. You're going to really get. That's so unheard of to be having because you can have real chance to have contact and and really make it intimate. And that is amazing.
and
'Cause Ira
we're
wouldn't-
raising some money for Ken Sagos's charity.
Yeah.
He's got a thing called the Giving Back
Okay.
Corporation. So we're going to
Okay.
be, if you can't make it to this, and I'm just throwing in a shameless
Sure.
plug here.
Go ahead.
There's also an auction that we're doing where he's
Oh.
auctioning off a skateboard that was made for him, a Dream Warriors full-size deck. And then he's also got this bronze Freddy mask. And then they also put up this sort of kit that's got like a knit Freddy, and a whole bunch of other little trinkets and stuff. And we're auctioning those off to help raise money for his scholarship fund. And you don't have to be there to win those things. So please, if you're into helping out, there's some really cool options there. And at the show, we're going to be signing Nightmare on Elm Street scripts. All of us will sign it, and then we'll be raffling those off at the show. So we're trying to use this to do something really good with the little notoriety that we've got. So if people do want to come out for that, it's going to be, I'm really looking forward to it. It's like nothing I've done. Such a nice, you won't be clamoring with 500 other people trying to say hello
Exactly.
for 30 seconds, So
And
I'm
when-
really looking forward to it.
Well, and when Iris said there's going to be lots of food and drinks, I'm thinking, dude, these conventions have thousands of people. That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Now
This
it
is a
makes
full
sense. I
bar.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. Full bar and a food truck. So we're going to get hammered.
Wow.
You're going to hear stories you could never hear on this show.
Oh gosh. Now, Bill,
I'm embarrassing him.
I love it. One last thing I want to promote because you've got September. You've got an appearance coming up at the Fright Reads Book Festival because, guys, Bill is an author, not only an actor and stuntman and stunt coordinator. And so, can you tell us a little bit about your appearance, real quick, here in at Fright Reads?
There's actually a People Under the Stairs reunion happening at that one. I was one of the people under the stairs as well. And but they also said, yeah, we want you for your books. We want you for your appearance. If you see the picture there, that's me. I burst from the walls and tried to chew up Wendy Roby.
That's right.
But they've got both my books there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm proud of my books, but I feel like I don't know if I should be. But it'll be fun to do that show. And that's kind of coming up in September, whenever that said September, I guess.
Oh, sorry. Let me put it back
No, it's
up.
all right.
No, here we go. September 28th and
28th, 29. Yes. Oh, that's actually not the right address, though. Go to the website and find that.
Yeah.
It's at another place,
Okay.
Sports Center somewhere. Ira, what's your next
FrightReads.com.
show coming up?
I got two. August 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to be in San Antonio. I don't even remember the name of that thing, but
Okay.
there's a bunch of us Dream Warriors. And the big one that I'm excited about is after our Night of Nightmares, August 23rd, 24th, and 25th. We're going to be in South Carolina for Spooky Empire. And they've only been in Orlando. So this is their first one out of Orlando, and Heather is going to be there, and Robert is going to be there, and Zach Galligan I just saw is going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Courtney Gaines is going to be there. Ira Heiden is going to be there.
Ira
But
Heiden's going to be there?
Ira's
If you can't be there, I'll go.
all right, you got it. Jennifer Rubin, Bradley Gregg, Rodney Eastman, Ken Sagos. Yeah,
That's a
so it's
huge
gonna be-
reunion.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Unbelievable.
If you only
guys.
get one poster signed, that's the one to get.
Yeah, right.
everybody.
Spooky Empire.
Very nice.
Spooky Empire. Wow. Well, guys, listen. I want to be respectful of your time, and we're just about 6 minutes over our hour. So I appreciate the little extension for us because I wanted to get those conventions out there. That's very important. And guys, listen, you can go and meet them in person, get an autograph, get a picture, tell them your favorite scenes that you saw them in, reverse it. And what a treat it is to not only see them here on the screen, but when you're when you're right there in person, it's a whole another level. So
Yes.
it really is. So I encourage everyone that watching this live and the replay for the weeks to come, if you have any ability to go to these conventions, you need to make the time, because it's going to be worth it. You're going to love it. It's going to be a great experience. You can already tell that Ira and Bill are going to make it a great experience for you, because they appreciate you as fans. And get you one of these shirts on Fright Rags when you go see Ira. I love this shirt.
Cool.
I'm in love with it,
I
man.
Love that shirt.
It's
And also,
really
we've
cool.
Ira's got all his conventions listed on his website. I've got the
There you
conventions
go.
I'm doing on my website. We've
Perfect.
seen the Instagram thing, so we
Yep.
really
Yeah.
do love seeing you guys out there. It's a kick you cannot possibly imagine, to have people come out and tell you how much they enjoyed a movie that you were in.
It's
It's
very
just
cool.
so much fun.
That's amazing. Oh, it's got to be. I'm telling you. So, guys, listen, I'll meet you all backstage. So don't go
Okay.
anywhere. I'll meet you back there. But for the audience, this has been an amazing time. I want to thank each of you that have come on live and watched. Those of you watching the replay now after I post the video, and just support these gentlemen as best you can. Really, buy Bill's books, support Ira, and because
And pay for your Patreon to get this channel,
That's
bitches.
right.
Thank you, Bill. I
Sorry,
appreciate
I
it.
got a little upset there. I'm okay.
I love that. I appreciate it, buddy. But seriously, guys, yeah, this has been a blast. Thank you both for being here. Thank you to the chat. And we will see you on the next live stream. I'll see you guys backstage. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Hey, you have been watching Craven Something Scary. This is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, thanking you for stopping by and checking it out.
Guy?